Hi friends, welcome back or to the channel. We're back to a familiar sight at this garbage back in the work area there, but it's for a good reason this time. It's not broken yet, but we got some stuff. So you guys remember the last time you saw this, I was disassembling the rear brakes because I thought we had a bad wheel cylinder, and it turns out it was an axle seal. Well, I have the axle seal. It is National 417158, in case you have a Dana 44 dually. And I'm going to just go ahead and switch it over to right-hand threads because we could not find 4 studs this length, this thread pitch, and all this other stuff in left-hand thread. So I'm just going to switch all these over to right-hand thread and be done with it. I'm sure Ford had a reason to go with left-hand threads, but I don't know what that reason was, and I don't really care. We also have a new master cylinder and a new brake booster over there. So now it should stop way better. As it is right now, the pedal goes about halfway down and then just tries to lock the brakes up. So it's very violent when it stops. And I don't like it. So we're going to change all that stuff. And the rebuild kit for this is also expected here today. So we're back to tow truck content for now. But I think we're going to be fine. We should be, with the exception of the power steering and the fuel pressure regulator, which is ordered and hasn't showed up yet. We should be about done with this thing. So I'm excited. It's getting close to putting this thing actually in service and towing some shit. So yeah, I don't know how much we're going to get done today, but we're going to do something today on this truck. So let's tag along with me. Let's figure out what we're going to get done. Let's unbox the master cylinder and see what we got in here, yeah? These birds don't understand quiet on set because I'm filming out here. Well, I was gonna look for some stuff and get started on bleeding this, but as it turns out, this is correct, but only different. I will explain to you here in a second what I mean. Has the big line in the front and a little line in the back coming out the driver's side, right? This one has the little line in the front, the big line in the back on the passenger side. So this one won't work. I got to return this, take a couple pictures of that one, and take it down with me, maybe? I don't know. But this one has to go back. I got to order a different one. Damn it. I guess that means I need to check the booster as well. Now, I'm not blaming CarQuest for this. There was not a lot of questions asked when I ordered it. They just looked it up for a 76 F250. I don't know if it makes a difference being a dually, but we're gonna go. I'm gonna call Mandy and have her look up this number and tell me what it crosses to. What's your guys' preferred penetrating oil? I use the shit out of some Deep Creep. Use this stuff on everything because it is a foamer. I mean, there's some stuff that I'll use PB Blast on, some stuff I'll use WD-40 on, but by and large, if I've got, like when I first started working on the pulley system for this truck, I sprayed the shit out of all of the moving parts with Deep Creep, and obviously greased all the grease fittings with grease, but you know, you can't grease shit that doesn't have a greaser. And that deep creep is thick, so it sits in there real well. I don't have to worry about it just going in and then running right back out the other side. Because it foams up, it sticks really well. So like I said, we're going to let this soak for a little bit. This is good, so now I actually have to find the fittings and see if we can get it to bleed. So that's the fun part. I may not have the fittings. Do you guys have a drawer in your toolbox that is just like your silicone and butyl tape and epoxies and shit like that, or is it just me? Am I weird? If we can get them to break loose and play nice. Oh shit, that one was easy. So that one's 7/16. That's where that belongs. That one looks to be 5/8. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Well, of course that one's not going to be. We're going to have to grab some other wrench to hold onto this flare, or this nut here, to get the flare nut to spin. We got a croissant wrench here, and it does spin free from the line. That's great news. Now, deep creep works. It was indeed 9/16. Nice check valve. Ugh. Oh, that's the wrong side, stupid. Okay, whoa. This would be much easier with a regular wrench, but I didn't want to go clear to the garage just to get it. Master cylinder's off. Seen better days, but you know, it's not terrible. Now, back there, you see those two right there and right there. And there's two more on the bottom that we got to get to. See them down there? There. Right there and right there on both sides. And those look to be 9/16 as well. And then take our Cyclops here. We got to go up under the dash for the less fun part of a brake booster job. See that bolt right there? We got to take that off because that's where the push rod comes through the I can't see shit because I looked at my light like an idiot. That's where this attaches to the pedal. So we're going to take that off, these four bolts off, or nuts off, and then we should be able to just pop the old master right on out. Or booster, I mean, sorry. The old booster right on out. This one comes with a new check valve, which also came with a card that said warranty void if check valve has been removed. And I just bought a new check valve for the booster that's in there now, so I have a spare check valve for the toolbox. I left one of these nuts on here to hold it in place while I was underneath the dashboard screwing around. See if we got her, Potter. It's bolted to the... Dude, this is stupid. Got that stupid pivot bolt out down there. I just lost something. Now, my God, look at that. This is some very stupid over-engineering. I think I might have just explained Ford's marketing tactic in the 70s. Every time I work on this truck, it pisses me off. I don't really get the feeling that this truck's... I mean, it has to be a 76 because that's what the Vintech says. But I've never seen a brake booster with a swing pivot that mounts to the bracket itself. And I also cannot just bolt it directly to the firewall, because you see in here where it bolts to the firewall, it's got that big flange that comes out around it, that stamped steel flange. Well, this bolts direct flush, and that flange would run into my booster. So I don't know why I thought this was a good idea. I really don't. So I'm sitting around waiting to hear back from the CarQuest, and check this out. You see that seal in there? I think it's safe to say we know why our brake booster's bad, because that's not supposed to be like that. See, this one doesn't move at all. I think Mandy found me a booster, so we'll see if it's available. Yeah, pretty safe to say that booster ain't gonna boost anymore. So also, CarQuest can find it but cannot get it. So according to the Google machine, AutoZone has one. I don't want to buy it from AutoZone, but realistically they're the only ones that can get it for me. So I have to jump online and order it shipped to home, then take my old one to the store, the local store, for my core charge, which, whatever. So all this shit's for nothing today. Either I'm just stupid or this truck is cursed, because I've had to do pretty much everything to this truck twice. And of course I wasn't smart enough to pull the truck back far enough that I can slide the axle shaft out and pull the drum off and change the lug studs and the seal. No, I can't be smart enough to do all of that at the same time. But did get some good news. We got our package from Zips, which is the place that I could find, the only place that I could find parts for the winch on this tow truck. So, check it out. We got a little tow truck. That's cool. Looks like a pullback car. And here are my bearings and seals and gaskets. There you go, right there. Part number 440-G. If you have one of these old homes and you're looking to re-gasket your winch, Zips is the place. Okay, so it's a new day. Went and got the proper master cylinder this morning. Confirmed, because I looked at it next to the old one and everything's in the exact spot it's supposed to be in and stuff. And we got it locked into our vise here. Fill it up with my favorite flavor of Dot 3 here. My favorite flavor is the cheapest flavor. I like to go about 3/4 of the way to full. I don't go clear to full until it's installed in the vehicle. I don't think it makes a difference, but I'm sure somebody out there does. Now, I let it sit for a few minutes. You just hold on to it, obviously, but you just depress your piston slowly. them back out. Let it sit for about 15 seconds. I'll bring you guys in here and I'll show you what I'm talking about. There you go. Hopefully you guys can see it well. So you just push your piston in slowly. See all those air bubbles coming up? You just keep doing that until there's no longer air bubbles coming up. Because if you don't do this, you'll never get a good feel on your brake pedal, and you'll never be able to get all the air out of your brake system because you're just going to be fighting it in the master. I know people do this with the master installed on the car. They use the pedal to do it, but I've never done it that way. Now when you're getting close to being done, you'll actually see fluid start pushing up instead of air bubbles like this. See how the fluid shoots up? Means we're getting close. Pretty sure we got it because we have no more air bubbles coming out. I'm going to call that a win. Now, I'm just going to put the cap back on here and set it aside. Actually, maybe we'll take it back to the truck and hook it up to the brake lines and everything, just so it's in place. And then as soon as the booster shows up, we'll put the booster in too. Alrighty, now the time has come to put this on the lines and install it. Can install it on the booster obviously, but I do want to get them on here, get them tightened up. That way it's just in place and out of the way and not just sitting around somewhere in the back. I gotta grab a rag, hold on. We also got a fuel pressure regulator installed, and hopefully that will solve the overloading problem, because we know it's not in the carburetor. Well, I think it's not in the carburetor, but I don't actually know. So we'll find out when the booster shows up and I can put all this back together and start the truck. But I'm pretty sure that's going to help a bunch. Because I think what it is this, because this pump is brand new, that pump is, or that spring in there is so stiff that it's just forcing pressure through that line. So now that this is just chilling, I gotta find something else to do because it's too early in the day for me to call it a day, but it's also too nice of a day outside for me to not be outside playing. Well, it's been I don't know, 4 days, something like that, since I seen you guys last, and AutoZone is not the move. Online told me they had it. I ordered it. I waited, I think 3-4 days, something like that. It was supposed to arrive tomorrow, and I got an email this morning that said they canceled my order because they do not have it in stock. So I don't know why it said in stock on the website, but they lied. So I had to get a refund, which is whatever. And then I just took that part number, punched it into Rock Auto, bing, boom, bam. They had one shipped already. The time has finally came. It's only been like 3.5 weeks in the making, but we finally have a brake booster for the tow junk. Seriously, it's been 3.5 weeks. I've been trying to track one down. It's going to be kind of weird with good brakes and tires that hold the wind. We don't have Maypops on the front anymore. May or may not still have them on the back, but we don't talk about that. You know, they're still in decent shape, so it's whatever. So let's get to work. I got to put some covers on my flanges, and I'm stoked. Let's get this thing in. And start back here on the back. It had just this little spacer plate on there. Not sure if I need it, but I'm going to put it back on anyway, just in case. It's all rusted up anyway, but whatever. Don't worry about that. Then you guys remember this stupid bell crank has to go in here. And it had two of these little thin metal washers, but I lost one in the backyard. So I was banging on this thing with a hammer back there, trying to get the pin out. And I got the pin out, but then I, lost one of my washers. But it's fine. It fits pretty snugly. Okay, now we're back. And I may have screwed up by putting the master cylinder in here first. But we're about to find out. Oh, go in there. Go in your hole. There we go. Don't worry about me smacking it around. It's fine. It's only fresh paint. I'm not worried about it. Come on, man. There we go. Not going to tighten that bolt up until I get it up into place and get the 4 nuts on the back of it started. Let's see. Go in there. There you go. Oh hell, it fits. Thank you, CarQuest, for finding the part. Because unlike the last one I bought, this one actually fits. Got our booster in, got our line hooked up to the manifold. Now, I'm going to just stick this guy back up into place here. And I muffed these lines all up, moving the master around without the booster in here, but it's fine. Brake lines are easy to fix and straighten back out and stuff like that. So, well, there you have it. Finally, tow truck has brakes now. Now I got to move some stuff around over here. We're going to push the tow truck back a couple feet and then jack it up, and we'll change some wheel studs and an axle seal. Let's do that. Your time has come, Mr. Seal. You can actually see right there that it's compromised. Let's see. It looks pretty good to me. It looks like this one is a different style. This one looks like it has a beveled edge down in here attached to the seal, but we'll find out when we punch it out. Now, there's a few different ways to punch seals out. One way is a seal puller. You just get your hook in there underneath the lip of the seal, right there, and you just slam it against the other side of itself, basically. This. Second way is you can take a big punch and flip your drum over and just drop your punch in through the top, but you end up beating on your bearing before you get your seal out. And there's a third option, which is really more intended for like front drum brake seals, but these are drum brakes, you know, so I'm going to try that method first and see if we can get it to pop out. It's a little, what's the word here? Rudimentary, but it works. Well, it should work. That's what I meant to say. So I'm just going to take this and slide it back on. Oh, there's some weight to it. Now that I've got it slid on, I'm going to take one of the nuts that holds the outer bearing in place. And like I said, this works great for front wheel bearings. Doesn't necessarily have to be drum brake. It works for all spindle brakes. Spindle bearings, I mean. Start your nut on there, a couple of threads, and then pull it out until you make contact with the bearing. There's bearing, there's your seal. It works every time. Like I said, it is a little rudimentary, but I've been doing it that way for, I'm going to say the whole time I've been a mechanic. And I've never had any big problem doing it that way. So I'm going to keep doing it that way because it works. It's got Timken bearings in it. That's good news. That bearing ain't no good. Or that seal, I mean. Now, it's time to knock the new seal in place. Just take it and put it there. And I'm going to grab a 2x4 so it covers the span here. I'm going to use a chunk of metal just to keep wood from getting down into that bearing, or that seal, I mean. Well, that was way easier than it should have been. Then you just take your finger and run around inside here and make sure that there's no, like, it's not raised up on one side or the other. This one feels perfect. So now take, just like with the winch, take you a little bit of oil, run it around the outside of this seal just to prevent it from going in dry, because that's how you rip your seal, and then all this work is for nothing. Do you remember I told you all of these studs are left-handed studs, and I wanted to change that? You can tell they're left-handed studs because on the end of the stud there's an L punched on there. I have 8 new right-hand studs and 8 new nuts to go on this, because you can see I only have 4 lug studs on this thing anyway. So just take a hammer and a punch, punch them out. Got all the grease scraped, got the 2 pieces put back together. Now we're just dropping studs in for now. It's going to be so nice having all right-hand studs on this truck. So you can suck these in using the lug nuts. I've done that before, but you have a pretty good chance of muffing up your lug nuts when you do that. So we're just going to take a punch and hammer. And if you're doing just one, you can just send it home, but because I'm doing them all, I'm knocking them opposite from each other so everything stays centered and where it needs to be. Very slow process. I'm just gonna, you guys have seen how I do this. I'm just gonna do them all off camera and then I'll be back. Also forgot to tell you, when you're pressing studs, lubricate your studs. It's so much easier that way. Okay. Now, all 8 studs are done. Take a little bit of brake cleaner, I'm gonna clean the inside of this drum, and then it's time to put everything back together. Cleaned, studs are pressed, wheels axle seal is changed, bearings in, everything's ready to go. All that's left now is to pick this heavy bastard up and walk it up into place. Go all the way in there. Are you too good for your home? Where is it, home? It's almost there, huh? Ah, there she goes. Now she's home. Now it's time to put our outer bearing and everything back in. Just clean it off. Send her up into place. Clean all this stuff off as you're putting it back together if you'd like. You don't have to. I do it just because I like to go back together with clean stuff. Come on, man. You know, at this point I really should just invest in a set of axle nut sockets, but I don't know why I haven't. I keep telling myself I don't do enough of this stuff. But this is the second time in 2 weeks I've had this axle apart. And this outside one, because the inner preload, you go all the way tight and then you back it off just a little bit. I'm hanging up on my brakes, but it spins nice and free. This outside one, you smoke it down. Until you can get 2 of these little tabs to line up so you can lock it in. This thing's pretty tight. See what I mean? And lucky for me, this little tab right here lined up perfect. This one, close enough. When you're home. Ow, my finger! Smash the piss out of it. That hurt. Yes, there it is. Line one up down here at the bottom. Also, meant to show you guys these lug nut holes. 4 of them are sunk in, 4 of them are protruding. That way you line them up properly. And on the drum there's this little tit that hangs off of the wheel mount surface. Lines up with that hole in the wheel. That way your valve stems are lined up properly and everything's happy. Back on its own weight. Gonna torque them now. And I'm gonna torque these ones at 125. I forgot the truck's in neutral. How do you guys torque? Because I do 2 cross patterns. Sometimes I'll do like here and then just there, like a snowflake. Sometimes I'll do 2 crosses, sometimes it's 2 squares. How do you guys torque wheels? Okay, done and done. By the way, every time I'm done with my spring click, I always reset it back to the lowest setting. I was taught to do this because it takes the tension off the spring in here and it keeps your calibration. So let's see. We did a master cylinder, a brake booster, 8 wheel studs, an axle seal, and rebuilt the winch in the and put in a fuel pressure regulator, and I adjusted the floats. I think that's it. I say that's it, but that's a lot of stuff to do. But now I'm gonna have Mama come out and help me bleed the brakes, and maybe take it for a rip today. Maybe not. I don't know. I haven't really decided yet. But I did line up the perfect thing to put behind this truck. Can't tell you what it is because it's going to be a surprise, but trust me, you guys are going to love it. So, finally, putting a wrap on this video, putting a bow on it, or whatever you guys want to say. So, if you guys are still here, thank you for stopping by. Appreciate you hanging out with me. It's been real, you know. So, I'm going to wrap it here. Like I said, clean up my mess. Have Mama come out and help me bleed the brakes. And then go inside and edit this so I can upload it. So, thank you for watching. I appreciate you. Also, if you're not already, subscribe to the channel. It's decently entertaining. We do lots of different stuff here. It's like I can't stick to the same project for more than 2 or 3 videos. And then we're off gallivanting doing something else. Send your friends, all that stuff. How am I supposed to quit my job and do YouTube full time if you guys aren't sending your friends over? You know what I mean? This thing has spiraled quite a bit because now I'm unhappy with it and I want to paint it and I want to make it pretty, but I haven't even pulled the car with it yet. So anyway, remember guys, your dreams aren't going to work unless you do. So take a short-term project and make it long-term. Okay, bye.